Hey, what's up? It's Josh with Concept Z Performance, and today we're going to be talking about 350Z and G35DE intake manifolds. We have the stock upper plenum right here, and three examples of different ways you can go about modifying your plenum. We actually have four because my car's over there, but we'll get to that. This is the stock upper plenum, which, as you can see, has a pretty severe taper, and it's because you can actually see the line right here, but that's where the front strut bar, the factory strut bar goes. So you have to keep it nice and low to clear that. And so what people have done to keep it under the factory strut bar is they'll take the lower manifold and they'll start shaving off on the top here. You can see what Dine did here with their MREV2 lower intake manifold. They took a stock, I believe, early model DE intake manifold, and they shaved off the top of the runners, and then they did some machining in a few other places as well, but that allows the restricted airflow that you get down here to just be a little bit more significant. Next up, we have the Dine Plenum Spacer, which is one of the most common ways to increase your plenum volume. You just take a spacer here. This one is the 5/16, I believe. And this just goes right here. It only goes on one way. This pretty much spaces out your upper and lower plenum, increasing the volume of air in here, and therefore increasing the volume of air that can get to these front two cylinders. Unfortunately, the thicker the spacer you go, the more chance you have of hitting the factory strut bar. Companies sell spacers to just raise up the bolts a little bit, but pretty soon you run into clearance issues with the hood actually. So you can't go too crazy of a spacer, and companies have like different ways of getting around this. And Kinetics has one way, which is they made a composite upper intake manifold. This is the Kinetics V+ upper plenum. And what this does is it basically increases the volume in here compared to the stock plenum. It also deletes these 6 OEM studs and gives you short hardware that you would just mount to the lower plenum. And then it just has one stud that basically stops it from flexing in when it's under high vacuum. This is Kinetics' way of getting around that, because they basically have a cutout for the strut bar, unlike the factory plenum, which just tapers to avoid it. So yeah, there's a bunch of different thoughts on which one is best and what I should do. The cheapest and the easiest is Plenum Spacer, which pretty much increases the volume everywhere. Honestly, we'd love to test them all out and run them on the dyno. It's just time. But if we get enough comments and likes below, we might be able to dyno test all of these intakes and tell you guys definitively, or at least what we think would be definitively, which one of these is going to perform and give you the best bang for your buck, because we're interested to know it, and we think you guys are, but let us know. So not only do we have these 3 options, but we actually have another if you follow me to my car. So this is another option that Kinetics sells in terms of intake manifolds for the VQ35DE. Not only does it flow a bit better in the high RPMs, but it also looks really nice. And each one of these runners actually has a trumpet on the end of it inside the intake manifold. So we actually stuck like a borescope in there just to check it out one time. It's pretty cool. And if you guys want to see these tested out, please leave a comment below and maybe we'll find a card to get these tested on. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.